social media, so we like to automate our stuff. I'm not going to go so much into detail. Melissa had an amazing presentation yesterday regarding Facebook, and she's going to have, she's going to have 2 more. So, what is inbound marketing? According to the definition, inbound marketing refers to marketing activities that bring visitors to the website. That means what tools and what methodology and what actions you're going to use on your website to take a stranger that he doesn't know who exactly you are, he doesn't know what you're selling, how you can transform him into a lead, and how can you transform him into a client, and how you can transform him into a promoter of your business, okay? What you're going to understand about inbound marketing is that what is really important is to have content and context. Content and context are like the king and the queen of inbound marketing. Content means that inbound marketing is everything about content. How you blog, what keywords you should use, what phrases you should use to have as much content and to drive as much traffic organic to your website. And context is to show you that content specific in the right context, okay? I want to have like an open discussion, so if it's something that you don't understand, just raise your hand and I'm going to explain it further, okay? So you're going to do a couple of actions. That means websites, pages, blog articles, etc., etc. And you're going to have a sales funnel. So how you can use that content in the right context in your sales funnel. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Okay. So the philosophy behind was a little bit different about what happened like 10 years ago. We call it the bubble, the social media bubble, the World Wide Web bubble, the internet bubble. So things were a little bit different probably 10 years ago, okay? So if we're taking from a perspective of a buyer, they didn't know when they were doing a process of buying, they were not informed. They didn't have the social media channels, they didn't have the websites. So they were more or less based on gut or people talking about that specific product. Things are changing at the moment. They are more well informed. They have websites that are showing them different opinion regarding that product. You have, for example, validation, and you see it a lot in, for example, Airbnb. If you're renting, for example, a house, you have these ratings. So that's a prospect or a buyer, a possible customer of yours already knows a couple of things from your business. Also the journey, it was like super linear, means he wanted to buy a Coca-Cola, he went to the store, to the nearby store, bam, decision ended. Now he's going on Google, he's researching, he's creating an opinion, and after this he's buying. The playbook, it was how the sales was happening like 10 years ago. It was cold calling. I'm not saying that is not okay. It's still happening for majority of business, but now at the moment you have content creation, okay? A little bit of history. I wanted actually to be a history professor. When I was young, I became a marketing. My mother was saying that you're going to starve to death, so I really like history. In 920, there was one radio station. In 2011, there were like probably 14,700. 12 broadcast TV station. Now you have also Netflix, which is disrupting this network. In 1998, the average consumer saw hardly 1 million marketing message. Now is seeing mostly 3,000 per day. Probably this numbers are overrated, how we are speaking, because it's changing so much and people are bombed so much with different message and content every single day. And stories, live videos, and so on. This is what's happening on Facebook and on other social networks, okay? So the inbound methodology is about how you convert a stranger, you close that client, you delight that visitor and you transform him into a customer, and eventually into a promoter of your business. And you're doing this through social media, blogging, SEO, and I'm going to go a little bit more further into details. That's the inbound marketing funnel. What does it mean? That you have a stranger, as I was saying, that doesn't know anything about your business, doesn't know that you exist, doesn't know what the fuck you're selling. You want to transform him into a visitor of your website. And I'm going to explain what, from this process, in this process of attract, what tools you're going to use or what methodology you're going to use. You want to transform him after this into a lead. Does anybody know what's a lead? What's a lead? Let's make it interactive. How? How do you know that person is a lead? A lead. How do you know that person is a lead? Exactly. Exactly. So according to HubSpot, a lead is somebody that is submitting a form. So a form can be a newsletter form, can be a contact form. That means that person is transformed from a prospect, from somebody that, okay, I want to buy a pair of underwear from your website, to somebody that, okay, I want to know more information about that specific underwear. How you're transforming into a customer, so that person, that lead already wants to buy and he's already buying. And the most important, you transforming into a promoter. In most of marketing action these days, the cycle ends here in the customer. But you started to see it more and more in the part of promoter of the business, and that's actually really important. So how you can take somebody that, okay, he bought from me, he's happy, and he can go to his close circle of friends and he can say, okay, just, I had an amazing experience. You should definitely buy it because I trust these guys. And you see on a couple of businesses, for example, on Airbnb, on TripAdvisor, on Booking, everywhere that is about rating, that's one of the actions that you can do in order to, let's say, to say that person is a promoter of that business, okay? So step one, attract strangers, visitor, blogs, social media, keywords. So you want to attract, and what's the most important, you want to attract the right customer. You don't want to have visitors on your website, the ones that they don't give a shit, they don't know, they don't care, they're not interested in buying. So one of the things that I'm stressing so much with my clients is that you should do a buyer persona. Do you guys know what's a buyer persona? Okay. So a buyer persona is the ideal customer. Wherever you're starting to build something, you should think, what's my ideal customer? What's my buyer persona? How they call it, the guys from HubSpot. That means, what is the age group? What is the location? Why they wouldn't buy? Why they would like to buy? What's triggering them? What is their profession? So if you're starting to put these kind of things on a piece of paper, you're going to be surprised. For example, every time that I'm creating a buyer persona for a client of mine, they are coming to me and say, okay, this is my customers. This is what I'm thinking that's my ideal customer. But when I'm presenting that buyer persona, that document, they're like, okay, that's changing a little bit. Because the more you go into depth, the more you're going to understand and better is going to be used, for example, for social media, for the message that you're going to use on the social media, for your Facebook campaigns, for your blogging, for the content that you're going to promote, and so on. Does it make sense? Okay. So the next step, the convert part. So how you take that visitor and you transforming it into a lead. So once you got that visitor and he came to your website, he's looking around and he's completing a form, that moment that person is a lead, or that visitor is a lead. So you want to convert that visitors into leads and get information for them. What is my personal recommendation for them and for you, and I'm seeing a lot on the website, don't create forms that are like taking so much time. We're living in a world that I'm navigating from my mobile or I don't have time. Make it as simple as possible. There is a principle in marketing called KISS, keep it short and simple. So keep it short and simple. Don't use as much question as possible. Use exactly the questions that you think that are relevant for you. So for example, name is relevant because you want to approach that person and you want to create an email that is, let's say, specific for that person. You want to use the email because of course you want to communicate, and probably the country, and that's it. The company, you already have it in the email. Any other information I wouldn't use. So happy joy, you have a lead, you have a customer now. So you need to do close lead. That means you need to transform that lead into the customer, and you need to do it targeted, okay? And you're doing this via emails, and I'm going to explain further how exactly, going more into details. Yeah.
Sorry. Was I allowed to ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's open discussion.
What is the difference between the buyer persona and your aspirational targets?
In my opinion, it's the same. It's the same thing.
Okay.
The buyer persona is the terminology that they use, the guys from HubSpot they use. And if you're searching on Google, they're going to give you like a document, exactly what questions you should create. And the inspirational ideal customer is basically the same thing. Okay. So delight your customers and turn them into promoters of your brand. Use context and personalization. That's super important because people, they want to feel special. I mean, everybody in the end, they put the effort, they put their money into your business. Create a personalized experience for them. Because at the moment that you're going to create a personalized experience for them, in that moment, they're going to be promoters of your business. Okay? The tools that you should use. So, how can you transform a stranger into a visitor? You're doing this by blogging, by social media, by keywords optimization, by site optimization, basically SEO. And I'm going to repeat a lot, this word is content. Content, again, is key in social media and in inbound marketing. You should use the blog as much as possible. And why you should use? Because according to studies, the companies that are actually using a blogging, they have 55% more visitors on the website. Because what you have to do, and in the beginning, okay, you're going to invest money into paid advertising, and organic traffic is going to be number 2. But on the long run, what you want to do, the balance, you want to go to organic traffic. And you're not going to reach that organic goal if you don't have content. And Google is so into content. Okay? 97% more inbound links. Do you guys know what's inbound links? What's inbound links? Exactly. So Google also loves this. You should have as much as possible an inbound link. So for example, if you have a blog article on your website, I usually go to different tools. For example, BuzzSumo is one of them. And I'm searching, before even creating the content, I'm searching for a content that is shared a lot. And I'm, in a way, duplicating that content. And after this, I'm approaching that specific person that they shared that article. And I'm saying, hey, by the way, I was writing also about this article. Can you share it? Or can you post it on your website or any other method like this. Or for example, be a guest blogger. Yes. BuzzSumo. BUZZ sumo, like sumo. Yes.
Process. So sorry, just wanted to ask more detail on that process. So basically you go to BuzzSumo and that tells you how much inbound links or an article that's shared multiple times.
Exactly.
And then you actually go to those individuals that are sharing that article
exactly
manually and say, hey guys, check this out or whatever.
Yes.
Got you.
I mean, I'm usually taking the ones that are having the most shares, whether that we're speaking about Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or so on. And if you're clicking inside, you're going to see which person shared that article, and you're going to see their social media profiles, and you're going to send them a message, and you're going to say, hey, I saw that you shared this article. I wrote this article. Can you share it? Or can you put it on your website? Can you do a follow link and so on? Did I answer your question? Okay. And the most important is that you're going to have the companies also that are blogging. They have 444 more index pages. Most of the time, if you have like a qualitative article, different websites they're going to take your article, and then they're going to link back to the original article. So use as much content and blogging as much as you can. I think one important aspect is that the process of going organically is slower. So don't expect results overnight, okay? So don't expect that you're going to write 5 articles and you're going to be #1 on Google. It takes time. It's taking a lot of errors, A/B testing from the perspective of the tone of voice, what's working, what's not working, and so on, okay? And also, it's generating more than a website that doesn't have a blog. Everything is coming from HubSpot. They are the ones that are insisting so much about blogging. So, but blogging is not the only tool that is effective on the fact that how you attract a stranger to your website. Bam. These are a couple of tools. So for example, Sprout Social is one that is sharing. It's one of my favorite tools in order to share content on the social media. They are doing an interesting algorithm in order, for example, they are taking your audience, specific location of your followers, and they are posting let's say the post on the Facebook on the right time according to your audience. Social mention, that's another tool similar to BuzzSumo to see what kind of article is posted. The other one is actually Hootsuite. It's similar to Sprout Social. It's probably you guys are using it. It's for automating the social media efforts. So Sprout Social, Social Mention, Hootsuite. You can integrate your account with them and are working as a charm. In order to create content, what is also important is to search for keywords. So short keyword, long phrases, keywords, short phrases, keywords in general that you should use. I'm using, for example, this one is the keyword planner from Google. And this one, it's similar, it's Sprout Social. They have also like a keyword built in their application. So research also, if that, for example, that specific keywords, search the density and search how much is the competition for that specific keyword. Because you don't want, for example, a low volume keyword with high competition. Keyword Planner from Google AdWords, and this one is Sprout Social. Yes.
Could you describe Sprout Social a little bit more, just the function of the tool, please?
Unfortunately, that's not my computer, so I cannot show you to you, but I can show you right after, but I can explain you now. So basically what it's doing at the moment that you're going to connect the social media account is going to create a split between male, female. So it's going to show you what's your audience based on the gender, based on the location. It's going to show what's working, what posts are working and what posts are not working. And at the moment that you, for example, you share the article from your website, according to your audience, is going to create a smart algorithm and is going to share it at the moment that they are reading your profile the most. So in order to have like the highest visibility possible, compare with, for example, Hootsuite or Buffer or so on, this one, I found it the most successful in terms of how big is my reach to my audience. And you can search for competition, you can search for keywords, and many other things. Just go on, it's called Sprout Social. I'm always writing my articles on the specific keywords. I'm writing my article based on share, based on competition, based on keywords research, and of course the company. Yes.
Keyword research. So when you're doing your keyword research, it gives you like ranges, like 100 to 1,000 average monthly searches. Is there a better tool to get a more accurate number of searches that's not in a range format?
There is one that is called if I know how to pronounce it correct, Ahref. I'm going to send it on the message on the social event. So that's another tool that is working, but in my opinion, I got the best results with the Keyword Planner because in the end, it's coming from Google, and they know their network. But again, this one is not complete science; it's just an approximation. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, what's your definition of a long tail keyword?
Was my definition of a long?
In terms of like how competitive it is and like at the metrics versus the.
Okay, so let's take a keyword is underwear. Okay, that's one keyword. A short keyword is underwear for ladies. A long phrase keyword is where I should buy underwear for ladies. That's a long phrase keyword. So at the moment that I'm creating, for example, you're creating an ad or you're creating a social media post or so on, I'm trying to figure it out. But that's working, for example, on your website. So the moment that you're creating the content, you should take in consideration the keyword, the short keyword, and the long phrase keyword. The long phrase keyword, I'm using it mostly for blog articles. So for example, what I said before, where should I buy underwear, or best tools, best places to buy underwear for women, or best websites to buy underwear for women. That's a long phrase, and that can be transformed into a blog post. The short keyword and the keyword, you're going to use it in the e-commerce website, in the description of the product. What kind of business do you have? Let's take it like this. Can you give the mic so everybody can hear?
It's a business knowledge marketplace, putting experts in touch with startups.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can like go on there, for example, and search for a SEO expert.
So, for example, experts are searching for jobs, or there's
the experts. No, so the experts get paid based on the call duration.
Based on what?
The call duration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope I answered. Did I answer your question? Okay. Yes.
You just said there was a few different things that you'd use or look into before you write articles. One was keywords. What were the other ones that you said that we should look into before we start writing? What should we research before we start writing articles?
You should research on, if for example you're writing an article, you should research if that article is shared. You know, if there is any competition on that article and how many times that article or a similar article, that the one that you want to write, was shared on the social networks. So,
Okay.
so do your research in the sense that before creating a blog post, do a research to see if that topic is, people are interested or not in that specific subject. Okay.
And then if it's, I do B2B, so I do business consultancy around restructuring businesses so they can scale. I don't know where to look for my target audience just yet. I'm new to inbound marketing. Would you have any, I mean, Medium's a great starting point, but would you have any other recommended sites to start looking around, to start to find?
Explain a little bit about your business, just in elevator pitch.
When a business is doing about 2 million in revenue and they've outgrown the management systems, so there's a lot of internal chaos, and they're generating enough revenue, enough sales to grow, but their internal systems are on fire. I restructure it, streamline the processes, automate it so that they can rapidly scale, bring in new team members and grow.
Okay, so a really good platform for you is LinkedIn. That's the social network platform that I would focus the most. And you have to see the decision makers. Okay, so if the moment that I'm sending, like, for example, a cold email, who is that decision, or who is that person inside that company that is actually saying, okay, he's going to say no or yes to my solution to be implemented inside that company? Is the product manager, is the CEO, is the director, and so on. And after this, what I would do also to see if they're using similar tools. What's the competition? Search also for the competition where they are ranking, and search also where, for example, they are promoting, what social media channels they are using. Search also with who are they connected on the LinkedIn page, for example, because you can see, or on the LinkedIn page, see the discussion on their LinkedIn page to see who are the ones that are actually answering the messages. And what else I would do? I would use also, for example, Facebook advertising has an interesting platform, and I can show you after this. Facebook has an interesting platform on the Facebook ads that you can see, for example, the location. If you're putting specific keywords, they're going to show you location, income, job, and many other factors. And I can share, for example, with you a presentation on the buyer persona specific.
That'd be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Really good.
And we can have a chat after this
Thank
about
you.
the buyer persona. Did I answer your question?
You did as well. Thank you.
Okay. Again, I think that for B2B is actually LinkedIn. That's another important aspect. You have to choose your battles. And choose your battles means don't go, if, for example, you have like a B2B solution, don't go on Instagram, on Pinterest, because people, they don't give a shit. I mean, like, you are targeting, you have to understand who is your decision makers in your company, in the company that you're targeting, okay? So, for example, for B2B, probably LinkedIn is a really good platform, okay? Okay, convert website visitor into leads. Call to action, landing pages, form, contact databases. So what I said before is a lead is somebody that is submitting a form, somebody that is taking from that stranger place, is going to somebody that is interested in your company. That's a call to action. I recommend to be creative. I'm not saying that is the best example ever, but be creative, you know? I did it. I feel proud of myself. So it's actually the best example ever. No, I'm kidding. A simple, boring, you know, like download now or whatever, it works in most of the cases. But if you're a little bit more creative, you have like a higher conversion rate, okay? You can use, for example, this one. I did it actually with Canva. If you guys know Canva, it's a super easy tool to drop and drag images, write a text. They already have templates. Bam. Just work and play with the A/B testing, meaning with your message. You know, in marketing, everything is about A/B testing, so you should do a lot of A/B testing. Give a message in the same time, a call to action, for example, change it after a week. If it's not working, put the one that has a higher conversion rate back, and so on. Huh? Sorry? C-A-N-V-A, Canva. To create a landing page, I recommend Instapage and Unbounce. You can do already, so it's going to be part of your website. We're going to see that it's part of your domain, so you can integrate it with your domain. Easy to use, drag and drop. We already have templates, and you can do a lot of A/B testing and splits in order to see which one is working more, and the one that is working more is going to have priority, okay? Woofo, I don't know, Woofo is the one that to create forms on the website, and you can embed it. All of these tools, for example, also Instapage and Unbounce and Woofo, is going to give you statistics. So I'm not so much of an analytical person, but I became one because in order to understand if I'm performing and in order to understand if the money of my customers are going to the right place, I have to show the return of investment. So analyze your data. This is my suggestion for you. So analyze this data as much as possible. Change it at the moment that is not working. Don't be close-minded and in the sense that, or be afraid that you're going to fail. Failing is part of the business. Everybody was failing. So use the message as much as possible and change your message at the moment that you're going to find the right one. Okay? That's the HubSpot CRM. What for me is really important at the moment that I'm sending a call mail, or for example, I'm interested to see what's the customer journey. Okay, where exactly they are. Are they in a journey of a lead? Are they in a journey of a customer? Did they already bought? And so on. I recommend you to install a CRM in your business, any type of business that you have. For example, HubSpot CRM is a free one, super easy to use. They have a cool tool that is called HubSpot Signals. That means that you attach it to your Gmail, and at the moment that you send the email, is going to show you a notification if somebody opened that email, how many times they open it, if you have an attachment, if they download that attachment, if they have a link, they're going to show you if they clicked on that link, and so on. So that's freaky shit. Okay, because it's super important for me to send an email and to know if that email was sent to the right person. You know, like if they received it, if they clicked on it, how they react, and so on. And also use HubSpot CRM for your business to track all of your customer and leads and so on. Lead scoring. Do you guys know what's lead scoring? No? Okay. So lead scoring means what you should do. You should give a score to your leads. So let's say that you have a form on your website for the newsletter, you have a form on your website for the contact page, and you have a form for your product, the one that is buying. You know, like let's say that you have an e-commerce website. That means you're going to give, let's say, a score for newsletter, and it's going to be the lowest score because it's just a newsletter form. For the contact form, you're going to give a higher score, and for the product page, you're going to give the highest score. That means at the moment that you're using the efforts, the marketing efforts, you already know where, or actually which of the leads are the most important and where you should spend the most time in it. Because if you're treating all of your leads equally, you're going to spend a lot of time and you're basically not going to see which one is interested or not in your business. Because even if they completed a form, not all of them they want to buy from you. So you want to follow up and stock them, only the ones that are actually, the ones that are the most interesting. Again, Hotspot CRM is doing an amazing job, is automatically giving a score. It's a free tool. I really recommend it to use it. Emails, MailChimp is probably the most common used on the market. Use call to actions, CTA, this is what it means. Use as much as possible call to actions on your email. I'm seeing most of the time boring emails. For example, even if it's for an e-commerce business or if, for example, it's for an offer, space your emails and use a call to action on every section, okay? Because you want to push people, you want to push the users, you want to push the ones that are opening that email to the right direction, okay? Smart call to actions, social media, email, and marketing. What does it mean? Sorry. What does it mean? Smart call to actions and smart media means you should create a personalized journey for every customer or for every visitor of your website. If, for example, let's take one example. If somebody visits your website and he's completing already the form of the newsletter on your header, don't show that the same call to action. Maybe show them to download the ebook. Okay, does it make sense? Because you want to be, what I said to you in the beginning is you have to place the right content in the right context. So you need to understand, and these days with this current technology, you have cookies. So you already know if somebody already completed a form, you already captured that cookie. So you already know what's the journey of that person on the website, okay? That means you need to personalize a lot the content on your website. I know that sounds a lot of work, but it's going to pay off in the end. Because people were going to say, okay, I feel important. Like if I'm visiting already the website and I'm seeing again that sign up for the newsletter, I'm going to why? Because I already signed up. But if it's going to show me an ebook, that means one step further in order for that person to buy the product from me or that service or what are you selling, okay? So let's do a small recap. You have a stranger. You want to transform him into a visitor. That means you're going to use SEO, blog, social media, mobile optimization. Mobile optimization is actually the key. If you're not going to have, I'm seeing so many websites that are looking smart and nice on the website, and at the moment that I'm going to the mobile is complete turns to shit. And I'm like, why? Because Google, first of all, is not ranking high your website if you don't have a optimized website. And second of all, people are spending time as much as possible on the mobile. I mean, we're probably reading 250 times. We're checking this stupid device 250 times per day, right? Call to actions from visitors to leads, call to actions, forms, landing pages. Leads, email optimization, lead scoring, sales alerts, personalized email, so on. Customer to promoters, feedback forms. For example, in e-commerce, who does, from all of you, do you sell something? Do you have an e-commerce website? Yeah. So for example, you see this in e-commerce. You say, if for example they buy something, a product from you, what product do you have? Photography. And you? Sorry? Health supplements. Okay. So for example, if they bought, for example, a health supplement, for example, on the next buying process, say, hey, by the way, thank you for your first initial purchase. Here is a 25% discount for the next one. And for example, ask them about the feedback, you know, ask them, how was the buying process? How did you find our website? Was it easy for you to pay? And so on. Ask these questions, you know, because you need to optimize your business as much as possible. Email, web, social media, engagement, bam. And thank you. Questions, more questions.
That last thing that the last point you made about like the website behaving smartly based on what level this customer is at in terms of engagement. Like if they already signed up for the newsletter, then, you know, maybe give them an ebook or whatever to download. Is there a tool for that, or do you actually have to code that?
If you're using HubSpot, but it's an expensive tool, you can do it from their platform. But if, for example, you need to code it, I mean, like you need to use manual code. There is no, I don't know another tool besides HubSpot that is doing this, honestly.
Dynamic yields.
Okay. Yes.
What are ways to make your leads and customers feel special? Where can you do that and how?
Feel special. What are you? Tell me about your business.
We sell some coaching products and we sell them through our email list. So they sign up, they get a free ebook, and then they're on our email list and we send them emails every day with a cool story. And at the end of the story, we sell the product.
So what's happening after they're buying? Is there they can buy a second product or a third service? Okay, so exactly what I said. Give them a discount. Give them a discount and say, by the way, because you already bought the first module, here is a 10% discount. Or another thing is, if, for example, you're bringing 5 friends to our website, you're doing this referral system, and you see this widely, this referral system, you're going to have 10% discount or 15 or X amount discount. You know, if you're doing the referral system, here is the code. If you recommend us to 5 friends and they join, you're going to have the course for free or the next course for free. Or if, for example, you buy all of the modules in advance, you're going to get, I don't know, X amount discount.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
This from the top of my mind, this is what I think.
Thank you.
Or I just got another idea. Or for example, if you say, hey, if you leave us a review, or we're going to have an interview with you on our website, or you're going to be featured on our email list or whatever. Or use testimonials. Testimonials are actually working amazing in this last step of promoters, because testimonials are the one that is proving your business, is proving that actually your business is working. For example, if you're having a video testimonial, is working better than, for example, an image and just some line of text. So, for example, if they like to feel important, they like to feel like a superstar, dopamine is kicking in, you know, like, for example, dopamine is kicking in because I'm here, you know, like in front of you. But if, for example, I'm going to be featured on your website as a happy customer, then I'm going to share it for sure, that link, because, hey, look at me, I'm on this specific website, you know. That's one thing. Yeah.
So, as you say, on the one hand, you have to keep the form simple to convert the prospect into a lead. And on the other hand, you say that you have to do personalization to make the customer a promoter. But how do you go from the data you have at the basis to enrich the data between the steps?
So we're talking about what you're saying is about this step from stranger to visitor, okay? This guy doesn't have time, you know? He doesn't have a time to complete like a huge ass form. At the moment that you transforming into from a visitor, actually from a lead to a customer, okay? You already know his address, his name, his country, probably his social media profile, and so on, so on. Because you're going to ask him, I mean, like, I'm talking about keep it short and simple in the beginning, in this step, visitor to lead, sorry, not this one. So visitor to lead. I'm talking about this step. Okay, let's take a step backward. You got it?
Yeah, I do.
Because, for example, at the moment that he's buying from you, of course, you need as much information as possible. I mean, like, you need the billing address, etc., and so on. But I'm talking about that step, that specific, that initial step that if he wants to contact you, he wants to know more, he just wants to know a couple of things. He doesn't have time. That's the part of keep it short and simple. Yes.
Just to add to that, there's implied and there's explicit information that you know. So you could run a targeted ad that is only towards a certain demographic, and they could click on that ad. You don't actually know who they are, but because the ad's only been displayed to a certain demographic, you can then imply a lot of information based on those demographics when they're a stranger. So you can do segmentation and personalization quite early if you're targeting with your online activity.
Exactly.
Actually, my question was more for how to get them promoters, you know, because when they are customers, they give some information, but to really be able to personalize, you need to know their tastes, I guess, or
what? Okay, let's remind me about what is your business. Let's talk specific.
Cars.
Cars?
Yeah.
Do you sell cars?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I work for
a car industry.
Yes.
Okay. So how you save? So okay, that it's a specific company or it's a specific branch of the automobile industry?
No, it's a company. It's a brand.
Okay. So how you promote? I would probably, well, there is another thing in. We're talking about the cycle of buying. You know, the cycle of buying, for example, for the car industry is quite high. Rather, for example, to buy I don't know, like a supplement or a course and so on. So in order to use that customer to transform into a promoter, what I would do, honestly, I don't have any ideas at the moment, but I would search to see what campaigns other car manufacturers are creating for the current customers. Because they're not going to buy a second car, that's for sure. I mean, like, they already bought one car, they're fine for the next 5 years. So the only promoters that are going to be on specific forums, for example, or on specific Facebook pages, and you have to see what that people are talking about that specific car. I would use examples. I would not reinvent the wheel. I would see probably, for example, what other car manufacturers are doing in this specific area, how they are using their messages after the buying cycle, what incentive they are giving, what special promotions that are giving to them, what special offers. So, for example, promotions can be, I don't know, 1 year of changing the oil if you, I don't know, if you come to an event to us. I don't know. It's hard to say from the top of my mind. I would use, for example, example from competitors.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
So for the CRM with HubSpot, I haven't actually tried that one. I've tried most CRMs. What I've had success with lately is Nimble. Have you checked out Nimble for the social selling aspect and user provisioning and building powerful profiles based on like the contacts app within Chrome and other extensions?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's my favorite, but that's one of.
So is there a why HubSpot versus Nimble?
Simplicity, I think. Simplicity and the fact that it's integrated with Gmail, that HubSpot signal. Because I can track at the moment that I'm sending an email from Gmail, it's automatically going inside my CRM.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I love what it does with user provisioning, the amount of information you can grab from other social sites and anything that they input into those sites. But definitely user provisioning is a key aspect I'm finding, and I'm trying to balance. So similar to add on to that, how much information to gain in the beginning that's valuable to your business and taking them through that customer journey versus simplicity so that you have more people filling out the forms, completing and going into your funnels.
I mean, HubSpot CRM is honestly simple to use, but if, for example, if your business is bigger, that's not one that I recommend. If, for example, Salesforce is the one that is the most common in the industry.
It's way too complicated for most people.
It's way too complicated, way too expensive. So again, depends on the size of your company, depends what you're doing, and complexity of your business.
So at our level, it'd be going into building a community like Facebook that's conscious and no advertising and more
Sorry, can you repeat?
On something like Facebook, but it's built around learning environment and growth academy. So conscious community. So it's not about advertising and plugging saturated content, but actually going away from distraction, focused on the inspiration, empowerment, and evolution of any individual. So user provisioning and building powerful profiles is a key aspect because then we can match mate across the board. So trying to find that balance between how much I can gain in the beginning, but get enough people as a user base, but then also building those powerful profiles. That's kind of where I was headed with that.
Nice.
So user provisioning essentially goes into building a powerful profile versus actually getting a name and an email. So name and email would be the simple form of what they fill out on a form, asking additional questions that build into a profile based on the model of, personal growth, professional growth, entrepreneurship, and all those different aspects. And sometimes it can be specific depending on what the offering is. So like if I'm doing superhuman design, where it's more I need birth data and I need other details to then offer them my free magnet offer product, it's important for me to ask certain questions so that I can say, hey, this is what you're going to get out of this, but you don't want to do too many questions. So that's the tricky part to kind of balance between, right?
Okay. More questions? Is that up? Okay, guys. If you have any questions, just drop me an email. The presentation is going to be available on the event page. And let's drink a beer. Thank you.
Thank you.